Hello, I'm Ann Dagle, and I'm here to acquaint everyone with the ballots for the upcoming election, the annual town election that will be held on May 6th. They'll be voting from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. in all of the precincts. Precinct 1 votes at Town Hall, Precinct 2 at the Frosian Club, Precinct 3 at Calvin Coolidge School, Precinct 4, Scandinavian Athletic Club on Lake Street. Precincts 5 and 8 are at the Sewer Water Department Garage on South Street. Precinct 6 at the Senior Center. And Precinct 7 at Spring Street School. Precinct 9 now votes at Centec Fire Station on Centec Boulevard. And on all ballots throughout the 9 precincts, we have the position of selectman. And there are 7 candidates this year. The incumbent, Morris M. DiPaolo, and then we have new candidates, Matthew J. Divris, Wayne F. Keevan, John P. Masiello, Johanna B. Musselman, Christopher P. Rutigliano Sr., and Benjamin W. Tartaglia Sr. There are 2 to be elected selectmen for 3-year term. For school committee on all ballots, there are 2 to be elected, and we have 3 candidates. The incumbent, Mark T. Murray, and new candidates, Sandra M. Fritz and John P. Martin. In addition, I'd like to mention that there is a ballot question that will appear at the end of every ballot, following the names of all candidates. And the ballot question is an override for $1.5 million, and in the mail will go a notice to every residence where there is at least 1 registered voter. And that notice will explain the ballot question exactly as it will appear on the ballot, and it will also explain the pros and cons of voting for the override. In addition, we will elect town meeting members in each precinct. In Precinct 1, there are 8 to be elected for 3-year terms, and we have 8 candidates. The incumbent candidates are Mark Adler, Arthur B. Brunel Jr., Timothy J. Daly, Morgan W. Duffy, Judith E. Merriman, Richard Ricker, and the new candidates are Joseph F. Milan and Paul N. Taylor. For Precinct 2, there are 8 to be elected for 3 years, and the candidates are Carlo Piolano, incumbent, Leo R. Corazzini, incumbent, John Sigilnik, incumbent, Barbara J. Kickham, incumbent, Stephen R. Miola, incumbent, John J. Morrissey, incumbent, Donna Largis O'Connor, incumbent, and A. Wayne Sampson, incumbent. And there are just the 8 candidates for the 8 seats. In addition, in Precinct 2, there are 2 to be elected to fill 2-year vacancies. We have only 1 candidate for those 2 seats. The candidate is Anita R. Walsh. The second position will undoubtedly be filled by a write-in. Any registered voter in Precinct 2 can write in their name or have friends write in their name so that they can be elected to that vacant position. Next is Precinct 3. Town meeting members, 8 to be elected for 3 years. And we have 8 candidates for the 8 seats. And the incumbent candidates in that precinct are Florence R. Bergquist, Bruce R. Card, Joanne Dorico, Edward T. Lenehan, Joseph A. Thomas, Walter B. Thomas II, Joseph J. Zecco Jr., and a new candidate, Paul M. DiPaolo. In Precinct 3, there is also 2 to be elected for 2 years to fill vacancies. We have 1 candidate for those 2 seats, and that candidate is Maxwell Suda. Also in Precinct 3, there is a position, 1 to be elected for 1-year vacancy, and there is no candidate for that position. Precinct 4, for town meeting member. There are 9 to be elected for 3 years, and there are 9 candidates. The incumbent candidates are Joseph M. Armenti Jr., Gail P. Augustino, Joseph T. Dyer Jr., Brenda A. Youngren, John J. Manzi, Sandra L. McManus, Paula M. Patrone, and Eileen F. Terrell. A newcomer is Michelle A. Villani. Also in Precinct 4, there is one to be elected for a one-year vacancy, and there is no candidate for that position, and will be filled by a write-in. Precinct 5, 9 to be elected town meeting member for 3 years, and we have 9 candidates. The incumbent candidates are Kathleen M. Burke, Michael F. Campanello, Morris M. DiPaolo, Errol E. Ethier, Joan Elaine Ethier, Roberta R. Goldman, Deborah P. LeBeau, and John I. LeBeau. And a non-incumbent is Derek K. Martin. Precinct 6. There are 8 to be elected for 3 years, and we have 8 candidates. The incumbents are George K. Bergstrom, Henry J. Fitzgerald, Paul W. Keegan, Bonnie L. O'Brien, Dawn M. Shannon, Carol C. Swidan, Anthony M. Trippi, and the new candidate is Mark A. Velagor. Also in Precinct 6, there is one to be elected for a 2-year vacancy, and there's no candidate for that position. In addition, there is one to be elected for a 1-year vacancy, and that candidate is Kathleen Quinn Copeland. Precinct 7. There are 10 to be elected for 3-year terms as town meeting member, and there is a contest in Precinct 7. The incumbents running for those seats are Alice E. Brennan, Peter D. Collins, James M. Coleman, Catherine L. Coleman, Donald R. Gray, Mark T. Murray, Deborah H. Peoples, Judith L. Polito, Kenneth F. Polito, and the new candidates are Nicholas E. Gatsios, Bretta M. Karp, Deborah Page Mooney, Dennis M. O'Connell, Christopher P. Rutigliano Sr., Dale W. Shatsky, and Nicholas A. Smirnios. Precinct 8. There are 10 to be elected town meeting member for 3 years. There is also a contest in Precinct 8. The incumbents are William Bashant Jr., John J. Biando, Edwin B. Coughlin Jr., Joyce M. Danielson, Michael L. Fillier, Carol Ann Geary, Viola S. Jefferson, Anthony J. Mastromateo, Francis Whitney. The new candidates in Precinct 8 are David Brockway, Richard H. Fisk III, and William P. Gooley. Also in Precinct 8, we have one to be elected for 2 years to fill a vacancy, and there are 2 candidates, Paul Skip Burnett and Christine Jutton. Precinct 9, town meeting member for 3 years, vote for 9 candidates. And the candidates, the incumbents are Jeffrey K. Chin, Stephen R. Danielson, M. Janice Fillier, Helen P. McLaughlin, Stephen T. Scott, Judy M. Vetter, and the new candidates are Melissa A. Hollenbach, Jason Palish, Laura J. Spangenberg, Cynthia J. Wright. In Precinct 9, there is also one to be elected for a 2-year vacancy, and the candidate for that position is Jane Fine Levine. And that covers all of the candidates that will appear on the ballot. We encourage everyone to come out and vote during the hours of 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if anyone cannot be in town on Election Day, will be unable to attend the precinct to vote in person, they can obtain an absentee ballot. Applications for absentee ballots close at noon the day before the election. An absentee voter may vote either at the town clerk's office before Election Day, or they can request in writing that we mail an absentee ballot to their address. And if anyone has any questions, you can call the town clerk's office at 508-841-8507.